Hello and welcome back to Go Natural English. I am your American English fluency coach, Gabby, here to help you advance to fluency and confident speaking in English. So if you want to improve, if you want to speak English more fluently, confidently, with strength, without fear, if you want to be a bold, wonderful, awesome English speaker, then you are in the right place. Today we're talking about 5 big mistakes that are keeping you at the intermediate English level. And you might not even be aware of these common mistakes because they are so common. They're common because many people don't realize that they're making them. And they're so easy to fall into, but they're also easy to get out of if we just focus and ask ourselves, are we making these mistakes? That's okay if you are. I'm not talking about these mistakes to make you feel bad or embarrassed. The important thing is to just realize that you're making them and then change them. Improve your speaking for the next time that you have a conversation. And these are tricky points. I've made these mistakes myself in other languages that I am learning. I am a native English speaker, but I know that when you're learning any language, it's easy to make common mistakes such as these. If you want to learn more with me after you watch this video, I have a complete online English course called Fluent Communication that can help you improve your English consistently day after day with my support and guidance. So look at the link in the description and in the pinned comments for the Fluent Communication course information, and I can help you more there. But now let's jump into the first common mistake. It has to do with prepositions, and I'm going to share some examples of the common mistakes and how to fix them. But often we gloss over prepositions. We want to ignore them because they are kind of annoying. I will be honest. They're small. They're not easy to hear or identify when people speak English quickly, but they are important and they do make that difference if you sound like an intermediate or an advanced English speaker. So if you want to be fluent, we have to master these. So you might be using the wrong preposition. Prepositions in English are tricky, right? If you're not sure which preposition to use, don't worry, you're not alone. The most common mistake I hear is not being sure whether to use at, on, or in. For example, I'll meet you on the mall. So this is not entirely incorrect, it's just probably not what you actually mean to say. So the correct would be, I'll meet you at the mall. It's our meeting place. On the mall would mean on top of, like on the roof. Probably not what you meant to say. Next, I was born on the United States. Probably not what I mean either. This actually is not correct and makes no sense whatsoever. So the correct way to express this is, I was born in the United States. So in a country or in a city. I was born in Minneapolis. And by the way, where were you born? You can actually practice this in the comments by telling me where you were born. She's sitting in the table. This is probably impossible. I think what we mean to say is she's sitting at the table. Learning the right preposition is a small detail, but getting this right will definitely make you sound more advanced. And getting prepositions correct makes you sound more natural and native-like. Okay, next mistake. Overusing the word very. So very is not incorrect, but if you use the word very all the time instead of a more descriptive and interesting adjective, you can sound like your English level is lower than it actually is. Instead of using very to talk about everything, like it's very hot, it's very cold, it's very windy, you're very smart. It sounds more native-like and natural to use stronger adjectives. Here's some examples. The movie was very good. How about the movie was excellent, exciting, outstanding? She's very tired today. How about she's exhausted today? The weather is very cold. How about the weather's freezing, or it's chilly? Replacing very with a stronger, more specific adjective is a game changer. It really will help you sound more native and natural. Next, confusing since and for. This is a big one when we're talking about time. Confusing for or since can really confuse English learners at the intermediate level. It can change the meaning of your sentence or just sound confusing and make you sound like you're at a lower level of English than you actually are. Here's a quick breakdown. Use since with a specific point in time. I've lived here since 2020. She's been studying English since last week or last year. I've been teaching English since 2003. When we use since, there's always a specific point in time, whether that's a year or a certain time like last week, last month, etc. We use for with a specific period of time. So I could convey the same meaning. For example, she's been learning English for a month, or for a week, or for a year. I've been teaching English for more than 20 years. So mixing for and since up is really common, but I recommend practicing and writing some of your own examples. So tell me right now, right here in the comments, how long have you been studying English? You can tell me using since and tell me using for. Tell me in two different ways. The next mistake is word order in questions. English question word order might be a little bit different than in your native language, so pay attention. If you're not putting the verb in the right place when you're asking questions, you might be making a mistake or you'll just sound really strange and it's going to be more difficult for other people to understand you. It just makes you sound a little awkward or unnatural. So for example, you are coming to the party. I would understand you if you asked this question, but the correct way to ask this is, are you coming to the party? Another example, he's working today. Is he working today is the correct way to ask this. There are some nuanced situations, like if I'm trying to show my surprise, but then that would be more of a sentence ending in an exclamation mark. He's working today? It's kind of like a question and an exclamation, but that's not really the meaning we're trying to convey. I'm simply asking a straightforward question, no feelings behind it. Is he working today? You can help me? Can you help me is correct. Again, if I'm trying to express something more nuanced, then I could say, you can help me. Like, I don't believe that you could help me. This is a surprise to me. But again, that's not what this example is for. We're just asking a straightforward question. Can you help me? Now, here's a big one. Mistake 5 is translating from your native language. Everybody does this. I did this when I was learning Spanish. When I would talk about how old I was introducing myself to someone, I would often say the literal translation from English, which is, for example, I am 30. I would say, yo soy 30 años vieja. I am 30 years old, but that does not sound correct in Spanish. If you're a Spanish speaker, then you know. So sometimes there are phrases in English that are totally different than they would be in your native language. And you just have to learn these. You have to learn how to express yourself in different structures, in different vocabulary, different phrases, different idioms. And that is part of the joy of learning a new language, because we get some insight into that language's structure or even culture. Another example would be, I'm going to the house of my friend. In English, I would understand what you're saying, but this sounds totally awkward. So instead we would say, I'm going to my friend's house. So possessives, my friend's house, the house of my friend, are a little bit different in English than they are in many other languages. So really pay attention when English is different from your native language. And if you can master these differences, you'll sound much more native-like and natural. So I realized when I was learning other languages like Spanish that learning to think directly in the language makes you sound more natural. It helps your fluency. It speeds up your communication because you're no longer trying to translate from one language to another. And it is so important for expressing yourself fully, accurately, and completely. If you're making similar mistakes in English, I want you to know it's totally normal. Don't feel bad, but you can overcome it. You don't have to live with making these same mistakes for the rest of your life. You can correct yourself, you can improve, and you can speak English fluently and confidently. You can do this with the right guidance, with the right materials, and with the right focus. It just takes a decision from you. So if you are ready to improve your English, if you want more help, if you want consistent guidance, lessons, feedback, then again, I want to see you in my complete English course, Fluent Communication. You can get more information on that at the link in the description or in the comments, or just come to gonaturaleNglish.com. And that is where you can find out about all the features, benefits of the course, how it works, how to join, the price, when we're starting next. So don't miss out, because we only open the course a few times a year for new students, and I would love to see you join so that you can improve your fluency quickly and hopefully enjoy the journey. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in another video soon. All right, bye for now.